How's it going, guys? My name is 𝙎𝗏𝘼𝘋 and welcome to my channel where we try to bring out the potential of every Pokemon available. Today's focus is on the Paradox Pokemon Gouging Fire. With Dragon Dance to boost attack and speed, Dragon Claw and Flare Blitz for stab, and the unique move Burning Bulwark to burn those pesky Koraidons and Chien-Paos, this thing can snowball out of control real quick. Let's get started. Okay, interesting team, no restricted mon, which is very interesting. So, I feel like Palkia puts in work here. I feel like they bring Fluttermane because it does put in some work as well. So what I might do is, I might lead with Metagross, bring Palkia, and then I'm thinking Wo-Chien to take a hit from the Walking Wake, which they could bring, or Booster Energy, Iron Valiant could be cool. Gouging Fire could be really cool as well for that Rillaboom, and the Iron Hands to an extent, and also their Gouging Fire. I think I will bring Gouging Fire, I think that's a good one. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. They're going to lead off with the Walking Wake, as I led off with Metagross, so this is not a bad matchup necessarily. Not a bad one. Are they booster? They're not booster, so we can live a hit. We can live a flamethrower, no problem. Do we go for a knockoff? We go for a knockoff. Screw it. Let's just go for the knockoff. They go for a flamethrower. We should live that, no problem. Half. And it burned us. The burn sucks. That burn sucks right there, but it's whatever. So they are Life Orb, which means our knockoff now is going to get rid of that Life Orb, which is great. But we are unfortunately burned, so we're pretty much useless this game. But you know what? They might have brought the Fluttermane. They may have brought the Fluttermane, so I'm tempted to switch out into Palkia. But then they can just go for a Draco, so I'm kind of thinking not to do that. I'm pretty confident we'll live a Flamethrower because of the fact they haven't got Life Orb anymore. But I could have my damage calcs wrong. Let's go for a Psychic Fang just in case. Hydro Steam, we live that. We live that. And we go for a Psychic Fangs, which isn't going to do much damage, but it still does damage nonetheless. And then the burn should finish us off, right? Yeah, it does. Awesome. So, Metagross kind of did something there. Not much. It went for Psychic Fangs. It took some hits, though. That's the main thing. So, right. Looking at their squad, I would say Gouging Fire is the way to go here. So, I'm going to go into Gouging Fire now. They have lost their Life Orb, so they have got less power. We're going to Terra straight away, and we're going to Dragon Dance. That's what I'm thinking. Terra straight away and Dragon Dance. So we Terra, and this means we can take a Hydro Steam, and we should also be able to take a Draco Meteor, no problem. Should. Big should. We Terra Ward to the Gouging Fire. And now we go for a Dragon Dance. That's going to be great. Dragon Dance will really help us here. Draco Meteor, we live that unless it's a crit. No crit. Lowers the special attack harshly. And we have a Citrus Berry as well, of course, so I could go for another Dragon Dance. I'm just thinking that Rillaboom, though, with the Grassy Glide could be a thing. So we do need to be careful with what we do here. We do need to be careful what we do. I mean, we do have the Burning Bulwark if the Rillaboom comes in. I just want to get another Dragon Dance because that Gouging, the Fluttermane could be booster. That's the problem. I think I will go for another Dragon Dance here. They go for a Protect. Perfect. Perfect. We go for another Dragon Dance here. We are setting up with Gouging Fire to sweep. Gouging Fire is an awesome Pokemon for this. Awesome Pokemon for this. So now, we just go for a Dragon Claw, and we haven't took any more damage. That's amazing. Perfect for us. It means we still have some health in reserve for the Flare Blitz recoil. We go for a Dragon Claw. That's a dead Walking Wake. Awesome stuff. So we still don't know what they've brought. They might still live a Flare Blitz with Iron Hands, for example. Fluttermane, that's fine. That's fine. I have double speed. You have not even double. So what do we go for here? Do we go for a Flare Blitz? I say we go for a Flare Blitz. They're going to Terra themselves. What type are they terroring into, though? Maybe Pure Fairy? Potentially. Yeah, Pure Fairy. There we go. So Pure Fairy Fluttermane comes in. And all we need to do is go for a Flare Blitz, and this should be a dead Fluttermane right here. Unless it's Focus Sash, which it could be. It's not, though. It's not. It's not. Nope. That's a dead Fluttermane right there. Awesome. Don't know what they was expecting us to do there. But it wasn't that. Gouging Fire comes in. We know what this thing's going to do here. They got to go for a Burning Bulwark. Because they can burn us, because we're, I'm going to give my own Burning Bulwark. We go for a Burning Bulwark. There we go. Protect ourselves. They go for a Burning Bulwark themselves, and it failed. So does that mean they can't use one again? Is that how that works? I don't know. I'm going to go for a Dragon Claw anyway. Dragon Claw comes through. Yeah, they couldn't go for another one. We KO'd the Gouging Fire. We made the right play. Gouging Fire came through. Awesome stuff. That is the game. GG. Okay, this is an interesting team because they've got a 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥 and a Charizard. It's very much a Sun team, so I feel like Palkia is not going to be good to bring. Potentially, question mark. But at the same time, I feel like they would Scale Shot their Koraidon on it. So I might lead off with Palkia because they're going to Scale Shot straight away. And then we definitely bring Gouging Fire. And because Flutter Mane's probably coming as well, we should definitely bring Metagross. So I'm going to do that. We've not seen a Miraidon yet. I want to bring Excadrill and see a Miraidon, but oh well, never mind. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. They're going to lead off with Koraidon as expected, as I led off with my Palkia. So there is a downside to this plan. They're looking at Scale Shot, right? They must be looking at Scale Shot. But if they go for a Collision Course and I Terra Steel, we lose Palkia and our Terra. So I'm still going to risk it. I'm going to risk it for a Chocolate Biscuit. You know it. You know I'm going to risk it for a Chocolate Biscuit. All right, they're going to Terra themselves. Okay, so that's the problem. So they could be thinking Palkia might be Choice Scarfed here. They go for the Terra Fire. They go for the Terra Fire. Can they still take a Spatial Rend with Choice Specs? Can we take whatever move they're going to go for? That's the real question. I'm hoping they go for a Scale Shot because I normally see Scale Shot on Koraidon. But whether they do or not, it's a complete mystery. It's a mystery. A mystery. Let's see what they do. They go for a Dragon Claw. Thank you. Thank you. Let's not miss Spatial Rend. We don't miss Spatial Rend, which is awesome. And that is not a dead Koraidon. That is not what I wanted to see. Not what I wanted to see. Right, if we assume they're going to go for a Flare Blitz now or a Collision Course, we should go into Gouging Fire. No, I said Palkia is not doing much for us this game. It's done enough. It's weakened this thing. That should be enough. That should be enough, but it's not, is it? Because they have Dragon Claw over Outrage or Scale Shot. Just going to go for it. They go for a Flare Blitz. That's fine. Flare Blitz will take them out with the recoil anyway, so Palkia's kind of took out this Koraidon with recoil damage, so that's kind of awesome. But with Palkia down, you know what? Palkia, I already said Palkia wasn't going to do much this game, but it's taken down the Koraidon pretty much. Yeah, it has taken out the Koraidon with recoil, so you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that for Palkia. It did good this game. It's done good. Done good. So the real question is, what do they bring in now? And what do we bring in now? I think Gouging Fire is a pretty good one. I think I will go Gouging Fire because they go into Flot Mesh, which is going to be the Flutter Mane, right? Yeah. Thought so. Looks like a Flutter Mane in another language. It just looks like it. It feels like it. Gouging Fire comes in. They're going to get Photosynthesis, which is going to boost their speed. We get the Photosynthesis, which is going to boost our attack. They go for a Moonblast. Do they go for a Moonblast here? Because Gouging Fire could still be useful. I think they go for a Moonblast, so I'm going to go for a Metagross switch. I'm going to risk it for a Chocky Biscuit. To be fair, we live a Shadow Ball anyway. But I don't want to have to live a Shadow Ball. I'd rather live a Moonblast, you know? So we're going Metagross now. Moonblast comes through. We live that easily. Yeah, that does no damage. Which is awesome. So now we go for a Bullet Punch, and they should KO the Flutter Mane in one shot. They withdraw. Okay, so what are they going to go into? 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬? That's fine. Is it fine? Is it though? Bullet Punch comes through. No damage, of course. They go for a Growth here, right? We go Gouging Fire anyway. We resist both stabs. We quad resist both stabs. So Gouging Fire is definitely the answer here. There it is, Gouging Fire coming through. There's the Photosynthesis and attack, which is awesome. They have obviously got Chlorophyll, right? Flamethrower, we live those. We live those easy. Easily done. Easily done. So now we just go for a Dragon Dance. Because the sun will wear off soon. They go for a Stomping Tantrum, that's fine. Does a bit of damage, nothing too drastic. They lose some health, that's fine. We get our Citrus Berry, which is great. This could be another Gouging Fire one. This could be another Gouging Fire one. We get the Dragon Dance up. Awesome stuff. And they've got Flutter Mane in the back. They've already used their Terra. And now we just go... Well, we need to stall out the sun. So we'll go for a Burning Bulwark. There's the Burning Bulwark. Because otherwise Flutter Mane will outspeed us when it comes in. You know? So we protect ourselves. They go for a Stomping Tantrum again. Protect ourselves. It's not going to burn them, obviously, because of the part fire. The sun's still up, though. Weird. Let's go for a Dragon Claw. They go for another Stomping Tantrum. That's fine. We live those, of course. We live those, of course. And we go for a Dragon Claw, which is, of course, going to take out the 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬. But the problem we've got now is, I think the sun might have one more turn because they might have had a Heat Rock. No, the Harsh Sunlight fades this turn. Awesome. Even better. Don't you just love it when a plan comes to fruition? This is where we find out the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗎 has got booster energy as well. No, it hasn't. That's awesome. So we go for a Flare Blitz here. We're going to KO ourselves, of course. But it's fine. It's worth the sacrifice of Gouging Fire to take out this 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗎 and get us some more points. So Flare Blitz comes through. Down goes the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗎 in one clean hit. And then we're going to go down to recall. But it's alright because we've got Metagross in the back. So we still win this game even though we went down as well. Which is fantastic. So GG to my opponent. That was a really fun one. Great Gouging Fire one as well. Gouging Fire's made the ultimate sacrifice and still came out on top. Okay, a pretty cool team. No Restricted Mon, which is quite common. I keep finding opponents without a Restricted Mon, which is hilarious. So, right, looking at their squad, I would say Gouging Fire puts in some serious work. That's for sure. So we bring that. Do we lead with it? Iron Treads might come. They wouldn't bring Iron Treads, would they? Do I just straight up leave with Palkia? I think I leave with Palkia, and we bring Gouging Fire, and then we bring Metagross. I think that's the way to go forward with this one. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. They're going to lead off with the Scizor, which is cool. And they haven't been a Luxury Ball. I like to put my Pokemon in a Luxury Ball as well. So now we've got Palkia out, and we exert some pressure. The Scizor's looking pretty terrified right now. Looking at their squad, I have no reason not to go for a Fire Blast here, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Fire Blast comes through and misses. I guess that's a reason not to go for a Fire Blast. They go for a Swords Dance. That's terrifying. But they are going to get smacked in the face with a Fire Blast this turn. Imagine if we didn't miss. That would be crazy. They're going to Terror. What type are they going to Terror into? We may lose our Palkia here. We may lose our Palkia here because they've got a Swords Dance up. What are they going to Terror into? Fire. Of course they're Fire. Of course they're Fire. What else would they be? I don't know. Anyway, Scizor is in. They go for a Quick Attack. That's interesting. As we go for a Fire Blast, we don't miss this time at least, but it's not going to do much damage. Actually did a nice respectable amount of damage, to be fair. So if they've got Quick Attack with Technician, we should go into Metagross potentially, or Gouging Fire potentially. Palkia can't take another one, that's for sure. But is it worth preserving the Palkia? That's the problem. Not really, looking at the rest of the team that they could bring. We could go for a Terra Steel, another Fire Blast, but I don't want to waste my Terra just yet. I can see us needing Terra Dark on Metagross. I think I'm going to just Fire Blast again. They go for another Quick Attack, that's going to take us out, so that's fine. Like I could have Terra Steeled there, but I didn't want to waste my Terra. You know, considering Fire Blast wouldn't have KO'd, you know. Right, so Gouging Fire is probably the best answer here. So I'm going to go into Gouging Fire. The U-turn stab won't do much. They could go for Knockoff potentially. They're probably going to expect a Burning Bulwark. I might go for a Dragon Dance. I know I can take 2 Quick Attacks. I'm going to go for a Dragon Dance here. Let's see if Gouging Fire can save the day against this Scizor. Quick Attack comes through. Yeah, we can take another one of them. That's fine. We go for a Dragon Dance. 1 Dragon Dance boosted Dragon Claw is better than 2 Dragon Claws. Well, so I've heard. So I've heard. Let's go for that Dragon Claw now. They go for another Quick Attack. That's fine. We live those. We get the Citrus Berry, so we can live another one now as well, which is fantastic. But I didn't want to go for 2 Dragon Dances. Dragon Claw comes through. Dead Scizor. Awesome. So we're panic averted. Gouging Fire is looking pretty powerful right now. They can't Terror anymore. So whatever they bring in now has to face the full might of Gouging Fire at +1 in attack and speed. And I don't envy them. Alright, what's that coming in now? That's going to be the Iron Treads. Nice. It's going to get booster energy in its speed. Yes, speed. As usual. Right, so do we Terra Water here and Flare Blitz? Because they're going to go for an Earthquake. They definitely outspeed us because they've got the booster energy and they outspeed us naturally anyway. So do we Terra Water here? Of course we do. We Terra Water. We Terra Water, we take an Earthquake like a champ. And then we go for a Flare Blitz and take this thing out. And then whatever's left, I'm pretty confident Metagross can handle to an extent. If it's the Magnezone, maybe not. as much, but we can take on the Sliverwing, Psychic Fangs. We can Bullet Punch the Flutter Mane. We can Bullet Punch 𝗘𝗏𝘼. They go for the EQ. That's fine, and we're going to live that. No problem. Yep, there we go. Flare Blitz is going to take us out with a recoil, obviously, but we at least took out the Iron Treads. And Gouging Fire has come through for us once again. What an absolute beast. I love Gouging Fire. It's such a good Pokemon. But there we go. Down it goes. So we lose our Terastallization. We lose our Gouging Fire. We've just got Metagross left. And it all comes down to whether Metagross can live a Crunch from 𝗘𝗏𝘼. I have no doubt in my mind we can live a Flutter Mane Shadow Ball. 𝗘𝗏𝘼 is the Pokemon that comes in though. So Metagross comes through. And Bullet Punch does 2-hit KO here. So Sword of Ruin lowers our defense. Can we live a Crunch? Or do they go for a Sucker Punch here? We go for a Bullet Punch. They didn't go for a Sucker, which is great. Does over half, which is great. Sword Dance. Oh no. Oh no. They have to go for a Sucker Punch here, right? They have to. We can't do anything to prevent that, though. Crap. Let's go for a Bullet Punch and hope we can live. Sucker Punch comes through. We don't live. Unfortunately, Metagross did not come through for us there. But you can't win them all. You can't win them all. GG, that was a fun one. Okay, that's a pretty cool team with the Koraidon being a big threat. Breloom's really nice to see as well. Chandelure too. Can't go wrong with Chandelure. So I'm looking at that team and I'm thinking Metagross does go pretty hard with the Terra Dark, except from the Koraidon, of course. So I'm thinking they probably lead with Koraidon, in which case I'm going to lead off with Valiant. And I'm going to bring Metagross, because Terra Dark Metagross handles a lot of the Pokemon on their team. And then I think I'll bring Gouging Fire. I think that's the best way to go about this. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. They're going to lead off with the Koraidon as expected. As I led off with Iron Valiant, this is a great lead for us because we get that booster energy and speed, meaning this thing has to either Terra Fire right now and go for a Flare Blitz, getting some recall damage, or it switches out. And there is not a lot that wants to switch in on the Iron Valiant on their team. Let me just say that. Because we could have knockoff, so they can't bring Chandelure in. We don't have knockoff, but, you know, we could. They might go for the Terra Fire. I think I might actually be better off going for a Thunder Wave here. That might be the better option. The Thunder Wave. Because it's Terra Fire is very obvious. Let's go for a Thunder Wave. Yep, they're going to Terra. There we go. So the probably Terra Fire. Probably. So going for a Thunder Wave right there is probably our best option. They're Terra Steel. There we go. Terra Steel. Would have still resisted Moonblast. So we definitely did the right thing by going for a Thunder Wave. Provided we can hit. We do hit, which is nice. And this is why I like to carry Thunder Wave on my Iron Valiants. Just because it does catch off these legends that are really fast. You know, they go for an Iron Head. That's fine. It's going to take out my Iron Valiant, no doubt. But you did good, Iron Valiant. You got rid of that pesky Koraidon speed stat. Now, we can just go into Gouging Fire and just Flare Blitz this thing. That's all we need to do, Flare Blitz. So go into Gouging Fire now, which is great. And you know what I might do instead? Because we're going to get Photosynthesis boost and attack. Instead of just Flare Blitzing, because they could go into the Chandelure and get a Flash Fire right now, I think I'm going to Terra Water and Dragon Dance. I think that's the way I want to go about this. So they withdraw. So are they going to go into Shandy to try and get that Flash Fire boost? Potentially. There it is. That's going to be the Hydreigon. They can't even Terra this, which is great. So we Terra Water and we Dragon Dance pretty much. And I'm assuming this thing must be Scarfed, which is why they would bring it in to take a Flare Blitz and then outspeed us the next turn and go for a Draco. That's what I've got to assume. So we Terra Water here. We no longer die to a Draco, which is fantastic. We're also going to get a nice clean Dragon Dance off. And it looks like we may have a Gouging Fire video. Because I don't see how they can get around this. I really don't see. Because they wouldn't have brought Dragonite as well as Hydreigon. That's for sure. I reckon they brought either Chandelure or Klefki. Let's go for a Dragon Claw regardless. They can't Terra. They've already Terra the Koraidon. We are winning this 1v1, I think. Dragon Claw comes through. It should do the job. Does do the job. The Hydreigon goes down. And they have a Terra Steel Koraidon. And then potentially a Breloom. Potentially a Chandelure. Potentially Dragonite. Potentially a Klefki. Which all go down to Gouging Fire right now. So they're going to go into the Klefki. This thing's going to paralyze me, isn't it? I'm still going to go for the Flare Blitz regardless. They go for a Reflect. Very good choice. Very good choice, that is. So Flare Blitz comes through. Still KOs the Klefki, though. Still KOs the Klefki through Reflect because we are Photosynthesis and attack. and +1 in attack. So we are times 1.2 and then times 1.5, which is crazy. Now the 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬 comes in. We all know how this ends, right? So I'm going to end with us missing the KO on the, I think we go for a Burning Bulwark just as insurance. So we go for the Burning Bulwark. There we go. Because at the end of the day, if we fail to KO the Flare Blitz, it's up to 𝗘𝗏𝗧. And we don't want the 𝗘𝗏𝗧 to face a 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬 that isn't burned. So going for the Burning Bulwark there is definitely the best play. The Harsh Sunlight faded. And the Protostim wears off. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm actually an idiot. I just went for the Burning Bulwark expecting it to burn, and they're already paralyzed. I paralyzed them. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I have no idea. I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz. I should have done the Flare Blitz in the sun anyway, but you know what? It's whatever. We still don't quite get the KO, but they're definitely the health where Bullet Punch can take us. So that was my bad. I should have fought before I spoke. I know someone's grilling me in the comments for that. I know it. I just know it. So they go for that Collision Course, but the sun is down. We might live this. We do live this, which is fantastic. And then we just simply go for another Flare Blitz. Screw it. Let's go for another Flare Blitz and take this thing out. Battle was cancelled. GG. All right. I made a mistake, but we still won, so it's okay. Okay, this is a cool team. They've got the 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬, which is great. That's my first one I'm seeing. First time seeing Latias on the ladder as well. First time seeing Qwilfish. And then the rest is just awesomeness. So, this looks like a job for 𝗘𝗏𝗧 against that Latias. As for the 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬, we need to bring Iron Valiant, I believe. Or even Palkia, potentially. I think we go ahead and we could lead with 𝗘𝗏𝗧, to be fair. But if they have Urshifu, if it's Rapid Strike, we can Psychic Fangs it. If it's Single Strike, we can't. So we need to be very careful what we do. So I think we bring Gouging Fire for sure. I think we definitely bring... You know what? We're going to lead with Gouging Fire. We're going to bring 𝗘𝗏𝗧, and we're going to bring Iron Valiant. I think that's the way to go forward. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. They're going to lead off with the Qwilfish. They brought the Qwilfish as we led off with Gouging Fire. So this is not a good matchup for us at all because we're going to get that Intimidate off on us. They're probably going to go for... I have to go 𝗘𝗏𝗧. 𝗘𝗏𝗧 pretty much walls this thing. It's just if they go for a Scald. I don't know whether Qwilfish gets Scald or not. I don't think it does. But if they do, we could get burned here. But it's not the Dark type one, so we are safe bringing this thing in. Thunder Wave, that's fine. 𝗘𝗏𝗧 isn't exactly known for its speed, especially against a team with a Fluttermane, a Latias, 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬, Rillaboom, Urshifu, and this thing. All right, they're going to go for a Spikes. That's fine. I'm going to go for a clean Psychic Fangs, which should take this thing out nearly. As long as we don't get fully paralyzed, which we don't, which is great. Psychic Fangs comes through. That is nearly a dead Qwilfish, which is fantastic. But they are Rocky Helmet, which is bad for us. So I'm going to go for another Psychic Fangs instead of Bullet Punch, because I don't think Bullet Punch will KO. And if it doesn't KO, I don't want more, damage. So they're going to Flip Turn, which is interesting. What are they going to go into, though, to take on our 𝗘𝗏𝗧? If it's the Urshifu Wicked Strike, we have to go into Gouging Fire and Burning Bulwark that thing. But they might predict that and go for something else. So they're going to switch out into the Rillaboom. Get that Grassy Surge up. That's fine by me. Absolutely fine by me. We go for a Psychic Fangs here. That's going to do a bit of damage. Does half, which is great. Absolutely great damage, actually. Great damage. And the Grassy Terrain is going to recover some of our health, which is even better. So we have to go Gouging Fire here every single time. The Qwilfish is no longer a problem because even if it's sashed, it's broken now and it's nearly dead. So we can just go Gouging Fire, and even if we come in and intimidate us, we can just Dragon Claw and KO it, and that'd be great. So Gouging Fire comes in, we get hit by the Spikes. They go for a knockoff, that's fine. They knock off my Citrus Berry. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world by any means. So now what do we do? So we could go for a Burning Bulwark to Scout, but I'm leaning more towards go for a Dragon Dance here. That's what I'm leaning towards. So I think I will go for a Dragon Dance here. They do withdraw the Rillaboom. They don't want to take a Flare Blitz to the face, which makes sense. And they're going to go into whatever that is, which is going to be the Qwilfish. Get the Intimidate off. That makes a lot of sense, getting the Intimidate off right there. And we go for the Dragon Dance, though. That's going to be able to boost our speed, so we have to beat everything on our team. But also, it's going to raise our attack back to neutral, which is great. So I could go for another Dragon Dance. I think I will. I will go for another Dragon Dance there. I think this Qwilfish is easy settle bait. So Dragon Dance comes through. Like so. Looking good. And then they go for what exactly? A Thunder Wave. I did not know Qwilfish Johto Quillfish got Thunder Wave. Since when did a little water type Pokemon like that get Thunder Wave? That's just bizarre. But we should still outspeed. So I'm going to go for a Dragon Claw now, just because it's our best option, really. We do outspeed, of course, to go for Dragon Claw. There we go. Quillfish is dead. We do get the Rocky Helmet chip, but at least we got the Quillfish out of the way, and it means that we don't no longer have to deal with no Rocky Helmet. Because Item Clause is obviously a thing in the BSS, so that's great. In comes whatever that is, which is going to be the 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬. Now, it gets the Terra Shift, of course, which is fine. Not too worried about that. What I'm going to do is, because this thing wants to Calm Mind all over our face, I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz just to get the damage off. We should still outspeed. There's the Terra Shell. It's going to make it not very effective, but it is still +1, sorry. Should do a bit of damage. Yeah, just a bit of damage. Nothing too drastic. Nothing too drastic. As they go for a Calm Mind. And I don't think they realize that we outsped. But we are +2 speed, which means we still outspeed despite the Thunder Wave, which is fantastic. So they need to bank on us getting fully paralyzed here for a start. They may also want a Terra, because they haven't Terra'd yet. So I'm going to go for the Flare Blitz regardless. And let's see if they do Terra. They go for a Protect. That's fine. I could have Dragon Danced again then. I didn't know, but I could have done. We couldn't move because we were fully paralyzed anyway. So we wouldn't have been able to Dragon Dance regardless. Which is unfortunate, but it's whatever, you know. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, go for a Flare Blitz once again. Try and get as much damage off on this 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬 as possible. That's the main goal. But they are going to Terra. So, 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬's Terra. Stella. I can't remember what this does, but I think it means that their Terra Starstorm is very powerful right now. I'm pretty confident. That looks amazing. I love 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬's Stella Terra type. We go for a Flare Blitz though. It's at +1. Still does a nice chunk of damage. Still does a nice chunk of damage, which is great. So they go for a Terra Starstorm though. That is, of course, going to be enough to take us out, I believe. Because they have got Calm Mind up. Yep. Gouging Fire, you did good, but not quite good enough. I am afraid, my good sir. So, what do we want to do here? Because they're going to go for a Protect if we go whatever we go into, right? I'm leaning towards Metagross to weaken it. I am going to go Metagross to weaken it. What we'll do first is we'll knock off those leftovers because that's going to be a bit of a pain in the bum. But we have got the Assault Vest, so we can definitely take a Terra Starstorm or an Earth Power if you go for Earth Power. So I'm going to go for a knockoff now. They go for a Protect, that's fine. Absolutely fine. Get your leftovers recovery as much as you can whilst you can. We couldn't move because we were fully paralyzed anyway, so we weren't going to get that attack off anyway. So I don't know what it is with my paralysis look today, but paralysis look is not looking good. So we'll go for another knockoff. They go for a Terra Starstorm. It is going to be neutral because we haven't Terra'd. I believe that's how it works. I believe. Wow, it's neutral. Oh, are you kidding? Really? We couldn't move because we were fully paralyzed again. Again. Just going to go for a Bullet Punch again, but they do go for the Protect to get that a little bit of health back, which makes sense. We go for the Bullet Punch. We didn't get fully paralyzed this turn, but you watch. This next turn, we're going to get fully paralyzed. I just know it. I just know it. I know it in my gut. I know it in my gut. So, I don't think that Iron Valiant can pull this back. We may lose here, but I'm going to try and get Bullet Punch damage off as much as I can. There it is. Not much damage at all, but it is damage nonetheless. Terra Starstorm comes through. That's going to definitely KO us. Yep. Come on. There we go. KOs my Metagross, which is unfortunate. But you know what? You can't win all of them. You can't win them all. I probably could have made some better plays as well, which I'm sure someone's going to grill me in the comments about. But you know what? I'm still trying. I'm still improving. So, you know, leave me alone. Let's go into Iron Valiant and see if we can pull this back. I don't think we can. It really depends on whether this thing can live a close combat or not from an Iron Valiant. So we'll get that booster energy and speed, which is great. There we go. Speed is heightened. And we'll just go for a close combat. I don't see any reason not to go for a close combat here because it could KO. Probably won't KO. They go for a Protect. This 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬 is doing my head in. Doing my head in with all these Protects. They want to get that extra leftovers recovery, which makes sense. I get it. But that was risky because I could have Swords Dance for all they know. I could have Swords Dance and they just risked that. But you know what? It was a risk that worked out for them, so they can't really complain. So I'm going to go for another close combat here. They might go for a double protect to try and take a... get some more leftovers recovery, but they actually withdraw. They actually withdraw, and they go into Rillaboom. Because that's their only Pokemon left, right? Yeah. So Rillaboom comes in. They get their Grassy Surge, which is fine. We go for a close combat. This also means that they lose their Calm Mind, but they did live. We're probably going to get smacked in the face with a Grassy Glide right now. Which means we're probably going to get KO because it's in grassy terrain. We've got lowered defense. And we don't know what item this thing is. But I'm going to go for a Moonblast so we don't get another defense drop. They go for the Grassy Glide. We should live one. We do live one, which is great. Moonblast comes through. No defense drops. Not that it matters, really. And the Rillaboom goes down, so that's fantastic. So with Rillaboom out of the way, we're actually pulling this a bit close. I think the main reason they wanted to do this was so they can get as much health back on the 𝗘𝗏𝗘𝗥𝗬. And I think it's going to work out for them. I think close combat's going to leave them with a smidgen of HP. That's what I think is going to happen. So I'm going to go for the close combat anyway. They go for the protect. They're going to get that leftovers and grassy terrain. And I think it's going to give them just enough health to where they can live a close combat with just enough HP. I bet you any money that's what happens right now. Unless we get a crit. We are kind of boned in this game. But we will try our best regardless. We will try our best. Close combat comes through. Can we get a crit? Nope. And the grassy terrain protect did not matter at all because that did not do nearly enough damage. Nearly enough damage. They go for the Terra Star Storm. That's obviously going to KO Iron Valiant, unfortunately, because we're at -2 special defense with a low special defense anyway. And that is going to be the game. So, you know what? I'm going to post this one because it was a good battle for the most part. I was a bit careless. But you know what? I learned from these mistakes. This is my journey that you're embarking on with me.